All this information is aggregating, and it's using that information to tell you the best time to reach your customer. Whether that's through email or through a call, when you schedule a call, instead of choosing the time you want the call reminder, it will have an option to just click best time. And it will use this information to then give you notification at when it thinks you should call. That's also in the email system. If you are emailing somebody through the day and they tend to open their emails in the morning and it's late in the afternoon, you can just tell Zia to send it at its best recommended time, which would be the next morning, so you get a higher open rate. We also have workflow suggestions. So a lot of us do the same task over and over and over again, so Zia will notice these patterns and suggest you build a workflow. If you edit a workflow and it somehow sends less email templates out or creates less tasks, so that workflow is actually not as efficient as the previous one, it will notify you that you need to go back and change that workflow. If you make 2 workflow rules that happen to send the same template to a customer, it will anticipate that before it happens and let you know that the same template is about to be sent out. We also recently added email sentiment analysis in the CRM, so this is something you can teach Zia to do as well, but it reads your emails that are sent and received from the system and kind of gives you like a smiley face or sad face for positive or negative sentiment, or neutral as well. And you can add to that so it recognizes different words as positive or negatives. What we're going to focus on is the chatbot and the voice assistant, which are recent additions to Zoho CRM. And these 2 things, both the chatbot and the voice assistant, are kind of categorized as a conversational assistant. And what this means is, instead of having to look for a certain feature in the software or click around here and there or search, you're just talking to your software like a human. Right? It's the simplest form of communication. It's something that everyone and anyone can do without any sorts of sophisticated training. So you talk to your software like a human, and it responds via text or audio. We've already seen, with a Google Home or an Amazon Echo, how this works on the consumer side. You can either ask a very short question like, "What time is it?" Or, as you'll see, you can ask more sophisticated engagement, and it will pick up that you're talking about the same customer or the same contact as you ask similar questions. Just the way you would do with a human, they're able to pick up that you're still talking about the same subject instead of constantly just restarting over and over. So when these virtual assistants came out, originally it was just kind of a search tool. It's evolved to an action tool, right, where you can add something to your calendar, tell the assistant to send an email, tell the assistant to complete a task or to notify you. So it's become something that's very useful in your day-to-day life, and we want to show you how you can use this on the business side. So before we dive into that, let's look at some statistics, and maybe this will help you kind of see which kind of category you fall into. So 40% of adults now use voice search once per day, right? So are you in that 40% or are you not? Think about that right now. And 60% of the people who are using it just started in the last year. So we've seen an exponential boom on this kind of interaction. A lot of people have bought these devices within just the last year themselves, so that usage is going up and up. Initial growth, again, spurred by the 2 that are on the screen, the Echo and the Home. A lot of other companies are falling in line with that. 65% of people that own this device can't go back to a time where they didn't have that device. Are you in that category? Are you this reliant on this device or not? And then 42% say that it's become essential, so it's part of their family, basically, right? So think about where you lie, and now you've all used Echo or Siri or Google Home at this point, so it's pretty easy to understand how it's used on the consumer side, like knowing the score of a game or purchasing movie tickets, or do I need to wear a sweater today because it's cold outside, and it can understand and pick up what you're really asking. So this would be awesome if we could do this on the business side. It would save us a lot of time. So in any typical business, we either are acquiring customers, so you're in the sales or marketing side of things. You're figuring out how your website can be optimized so the customer can find what they're looking for and the price and matching that product to their needs, and that generates new revenue. And then you're on the retention side. We're in the support side of things, or sending out surveys, or doing case studies and references. You're doing further education for your customers so that they take full advantage of your products and possibly come back and buy something else from you. And that's, of course, recurring business. So this is our dilemma, right? You have, in order to acquire customers and retain customers, you have to use many different software applications. As you've seen the Zoho suite, we have almost 40 different applications that you could use to run your business, plus lots and lots of others out there, right? So as an end user, you're now having to go to work and deal with multiple products. And then inside those multiple products, you're dealing with hundreds of different features. If you actually are a power user of each product, that's a lot of things that you need to learn. And then as you start using that product in your business, you discover other needs. And you may not even know if that feature is inside the product or not. And the other problem is you have different users with different experience level on different apps. So it becomes more of a technological burden, or maybe you'll have some technology fatigue that you're using so many different apps. And this is the problem that the Zia platform is going to solve for you. Okay? So we take our end user here and give them a friend or an assistant, and they can ask their friend how to get something done, and without having to dive into all the different software products and features, that assistant is able to give you the answer. So it's also very time-saving. Why are these useful? Because we talk every day. This is our natural flow. We don't write in code, right? Sorry, we don't speak in code. We speak in English. We use slang. We use different types of dialects from different areas. So we wanted to make it as natural as possible. So if you can program these things in there, people can just talk to it as if they would be talking to another colleague or their friend. And so no special adoption is needed. They would assume that you can just ask, how much money do I have, in revenue, and it'll just know the answer. Doesn't matter how you say it, they just ask the way that they feel comfortable saying. So with the virtual assistant, we're looking at three different components. You can either ask a general question. General question would be something like, when was Zoho founded, right? We can ask personalized questions, so something that you're particularly interested in, right? Like particular to like an addition of a product or the price of a product, or what you've purchased in the past. And then we can even do operations on what you ask it to do. So like add this product to my cart, right? Or send me a return label for the product that I purchased. So we're able to call an operation. We're going to use the use case of an e-commerce business because this is something that we do every day. We're going online, we're looking for clothes or electronics or some kind of item. We're adding it to a cart, we're placing an order. We're receiving our package. Sometimes we have to return that package, but it's something we've done on so many different websites, so it's very relatable. So when we ask general questions, right, these don't have any particular distinct parameters for me versus you. It's just something that someone would just ask in a store as they walk in, like, what are all the products you sell? Do you have any discounts or offers available? What is your return policy, right? So the assistant will give back a general answer. So what I'm going to show you first is our awesome e-commerce creator application, and we'll apply that general question into a chatbot that's on a consumer-facing website, right? So in our creator application, we are pretending we're the Apple Store. So we've added a bunch of different Apple products and their price. We have a shopping cart built so we can see what's in the shopping cart itself. We can place orders. We can look at an order history as well. All right? So let's go to our website. So this is just a Zoho Sites website, but we see our chatbot in the corner here. And if I click on this chatbot, right, I can ask that question, what are all the products that you sell? And now we can see the output. So pay special attention to the type of output. It could have given me just text. So take special note to the output. So the output is a mixture of text and of images. So you have the option when you output the answer to be in a table format or just text, or you can display images, right? So different types of output is available. Now, inside this chatbot, I can continue my conversation, right? What is the cost of iPhone, right? So there it goes. So kind of got the right formula here. So we would ask the product, and then it would know that there are multiple types of product in that category. So then it will then ask me to fill in the missing parameter, which is the type of iPhone here. and then I can choose it and submit it, and then it will give me back the answer. The next category from general was to personalized questions. So personalized question would be something like, what do I have in my cart? Because it's related to me. What is the status of my shipment? Do you ship iPhones to my zip code or to my state? We can also ask it to perform an operation such as add this product to my cart, or place an order for me, or cancel my order. So I was able to, on the mobile device, place an order for something through the app, and then it would be able to tell me what is in my cart, etc. So what we're going to do is show you how this was programmed on the back end. And like I said, I swear this works because I just tried it. So this is the developer console that we're going to demo to you guys today on building your own Zia sentences and actions and skills. So what I want to do is break down the Zia platform into 4 pieces. And we're going to deep dive into each one and explain what it is. So the chat management framework, the developer console, the voice and chat SDKs, and then the admin console. So let's start with the chat management framework. Okay. So I'm going to kind of simplify what's written behind me, right? So communicates with the NLP layer to find the intent initial parameters. So basically all that means it's reading your sentence, figuring out your grammar, looking for keywords, and figuring out the relationship between those keywords. And if there are items missing to call to action, like what type of iPhone, then it will ask you that message. So you fulfill all the parameters, and then it makes sure that you've fulfilled them correctly. Like if it asks for a number, you typed in a number or said a number, and then it's going to be able to call to action. This is all managed as if there were hundreds of different chat sessions going online with different chatbots all at once. Included in this, it also will read things like hello, goodbye, how are you? And so you can talk to it like a person. Feel free to communicate with however you want it. It's able to read all that different language. The developer console is what we're going to demo. And so this is where you are actually building the skills. So it's put together in different pieces. So you have a chatbot, you have a skill related to that chatbot, and then you can have multiple actions inside that one skill. So if we take this skill of e-commerce that we just had, inside there would be multiple actions like placing the order or showing what's in the cart or telling me what products are in the inventory, etc. So inside the console, you add your developers, you figure out their access control, and you write your intents, which are actions. Those are interchangeable words. We call them actions inside our product. You may be familiar with intents. Inside the skill, you can have multiple skills for multiple bots, and then inside each skill, you can have multiple intents or actions. Then if you want to edit or update these different actions inside the skill, you can do so, and then you can push your updates through. So it can be a work in progress. All right, let's break down actions. Actions are the chatbot's abilities. So these are the sentences, parameters, and the functions that you're going to combine together to make one action. And a sentence is exactly what I was saying or typing on the bot. It's what you are going to do to invoke the action in the first place, like place an order for me. So it's just what you're going to type. Parameters are the inputs, right? So these are your fields. If you think of this tool as a form, then parameters are just the fields that you have to fill in, like first name, last name, number of units, type of product. Once it knows all the parameters are fulfilled, then it can call the action. So, and then that action is, the third piece of the action is the function, which is going to execute the action itself. The sample sentences is the dialogue, right? So what you're speaking. The placeholders are your parameters. This is what changes between every sentence. Like, what is the price of an iPad? What is the price of an iPhone? What is the price of AirPods? That's the parameter value that's dynamically changing every single time. And then you have to write out all the semantically distinct sentences that can call this function. So something as simple as what is the price of something or what is the cost of something, that's not a semantically distinct sentence versus what is my revenue or how much do I earn per year, right? It's a completely different sentence and none of the words even match between those sentences. Then you consider that a semantically different sentence. Otherwise, it's able to interpret that price and costs are asking the same thing, right? And so with any AI tool, you have to build data into it. Our data model here for Zia is going to be all of these sample sentences that you type in. Breaking down parameters. So parameters are your input. They can be a text, number, date, time, or an array, which is like a pick list. It can be a single select or multiple select. This, and the more types are coming. You kind of saw that in the chatbot where it sent the images or it sent a table, and I can click an option versus just plain text. Even when it pulls an answer for you, that answer can be in the form of an image. And you have to specify the messages. Of course, if you need to collect additional parameters, you have to specify what that message would be, like how many of the units would you like. And then we get to the third part, which is the execution function. This is done in deluge code, and it's going to return as a map. Audio message or a text, which is we're going to call a visual card. And the reason we call it a visual card is we're going to be able to add multiple elements into that card, from text to an image and text, or a link, or a table and a text, or a list. So it's up to you how you want to answer in the right format. So, and what you saw on the mobile app was the Voice SDK. So the Chat SDK is going to be on the web and the mobile app. The Voice SDK is only going to be on the mobile app. And when you add the SDK into that client app, as we showed here, it will take care of everything. It's not like you have to do. Vijay is going to come up and show the Zia Console here.
Hi. Thanks, Ricky. So having said yes, let's just dive into the developer platform that we have. So this is the developer console where people will be able to add abilities to the chatbot. So you have a requirement for a chatbot, and you come here and create a bot, and you can add abilities to it and deploy it wherever you want. So this is the bot that we have designed for the virtual e-commerce site that we just presented. And I'm just going to walk through one ability that we have created already for this bot. So I'm just showing placing an order inside, the ability of placing an order through the chatbot to the e-commerce platform. So this is the new action screen. So this is how you create a new ability to the chatbot. Hope I'm visible. So any action, as Ricky already mentioned, can answer a question or do an operation. In this case, we are choosing to do some operation. And first things the system expects is how this operation can be performed. So some commonly used sentences that the user may trigger in the natural language may use to trigger this action in the natural language. So that is the first input. And as you type that, you can add those values that are required to fulfill that action. Say, for example, placing an order. To place an order, you must know what the product is and how much the product, how much quantity do you want. So those are to be declared as parameters here, and those parameters can be given to the initial sentences, and it can be marked like this. So, say for example, if I'm writing a sentence like place an order for 10 phones, and I have marked 10 as quantity and phone as product. So these are the example invocation center. To put it in the machine language perspective, this is the data model that the system requires to identify the further user inputs that may arise. So once this is declared and the parameters are defined, and we support the following data types for the parameters. So when you declare, say, a parameter as date, the user can say that in a natural language. Say, for example, when do you want the order to be delivered? And the user can say next Friday. The platform takes care of converting the string next Friday into a readable date format. So that's what. So all the data type validations are done by the platform, and we try to extract as many parameters as possible that you have declared in the sample sentences. So defining an ability inside a Zia's bot is just defining the sentences and the parameters. And once you're done, so the system works like whenever a user input comes, it compares with the sentences that it already has for the user, and it tries to identify a single ability that matches with the user input, and it tries to prompt the parameters that are required to fulfill that action. And once all the parameters are got, so we have deluge in here, divided by products, united by deluge. So we have all the parameters that we declared in the previous page, say for example, product name, product ID. So every value of the parameter that is gotten from the user is passed through the deluge function. And as you can see, I can just create a record with these values that is gotten from the user, and Zia platform takes care of the conversion of the user input into a deluge format. Say, if I say next Monday, it will convert into a valid date format that the deluge code can understand, so that you can directly use that value programmatically. So Zia platform takes care of converting your natural language into a programmable data, so that you can use this data to hit whatever API you want. So here I have just hit creator APIs. You can literally hit any API you want. You may have a third-party cloud application that you may want to integrate with. You have your own server. You have your own API. So any cloud-based application that has an API can be communicated through the deluge code. So virtually, you can create a chatbot assistant for any cloud product. So that is the platform that that's the power of this platform, actually. And the output of this deluge function should be in a prescribed format. In this case, it is a map. We expect that to be a map, and that map should have the key message, and whatever string that comes out of this message will be broadcasted to the user as an audio output or a chat output. That's it. So we get all the inputs from user, and we pass on to the deluge function that you write, and you do whatever you want with the data. You hit the API, do some processing, get some answer for the user, and construct an answer as a return to this deluge function, and the system will pass on to the user as a reply to his or her question. So this is how we have programmed this, and this is the developer console. So just imagine to write a chatbot ability to place an order. This is the effort that you require. So you declare some sentences, declare the parameters, and write the deluge as you know it, and boom. It's just 10 minutes of work that you have to do. Once this is done, publishing to your website is just a click space. So you can just click over this button, and it will be available to the users who are already using the chatbot. So adding a new ability to the chatbot can happen in the runtime. So as Ricky explained, this is the developer console. The end users of your chatbot are going to use through the mobile app or the web app that integrates Zia's mobile and web SDKs. So integrating the SDK into your client app is going to be a one-time job, and any action that you add in the runtime in the developer console will be available immediately to your end users through the mobile and web SDKs. So that's the point. So here, I'll want to demo it again. So I'm just saying place an order. So it is going to ask me for product. So I'm saying iPhone, and it is programmed that. So we have a list of products in the demo account. So out of these, we have 3 iPhones. So the system prompts the user which iPhone. It is confused because we have multiple iPhones. So you can prompt this from the user. All these are programmed by the system. It is taken care by the developer. So if I'm choosing iPhone X, so how many? It just asked me just 1. So here, I said just 1. It is an English sentence. It is a naturally spoken sentence. And this thing is converted into a programmable number so that it is given properly to the deluge code, and it is hit with proper creator APIs. So the conversion of the sentence just 1 to the number 1 is taken care by the system. So this is the whole point. So adding a record inside creator, in this case creator, or to any cloud application is just going to take this effort for the end users. And to give this ability, it is just going to take this effort for you to publish the action. So this was a quick introduction about the platforms. Hope I was able to make up for what we did with this demo that I just showed. So I leave the rest to Ricky. He has something else to show to you.
Let's go into some use cases and examples. So now time to think about this on the entire Zoho One scale, right? All the different Zoho apps and how you can add these assistants to make your life easier across your entire company. Don't just think about Creator or think about CRM. Think of every department in your company, from sales to marketing to accounting, HR, etc. So questions like Raju mentioned earlier, like what is the revenue per employee, this platform would pull information from Zoho Books and Zoho People and let you know that information. Something like email an NPS survey to my happy customers. How does it know what your happy customers are? Well, in Zoho Desk, we keep track of the customer satisfaction, and in survey you have the NPS survey template, and that's how that would be triggered. Something like how many Facebook followers have opened this email campaign. So what it's going to do is look at who your Facebook followers are in Zoho Social, look at who matched that on who opened those emails in Zoho Campaigns, and let you know that answer. Other things like who in my pipeline has open tickets is pretty useful for on the sales side. So if you're about to close a deal, you know if they've emailed any of your support teams and maybe there's an unresolved issue that you can be aware of. How many paying customers did I have on my website in the last month? So the CRM is going to tell you which customers are existing and who have paid already. It's going to filter that for the last month. Sales IQ keeps track of your website visitors, so using that information can let you know that. And then our new app, Zoho Backstage, that we're using to run this event, how many event attendees are my customers for more than a year? So again, uses the CRM data, cross-references with who actually is attending the conference on Zoho Backstage, and lets you know that answer. So a lot of this stuff where we talked about the problem we're solving of trying to jump between multiple apps, you can now hard code into the system. So when you are training new people, onboarding new people, or you have someone that needs an answer that's probably from a different department or doesn't need to ask someone else, they can ask the bot, and the bot can aggregate data from multiple apps and let you know.